Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm going to call this meeting to order. I always know with the fire service, you're either early or right on time, so much appreciated. We have one chief on the Zoom and everyone else is here, so thank you very much. We are recording, is that right?
Yep, we are recording, and people are able to participate, residents by Zoom too.
Excellent, okay. So I'm gonna just make a few remarks as we start and tell you a little bit about myself, and then we can go around the table and introduce ourselves and explain your relationship, if possible, to the issue that we're addressing. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being willing to work on this critical priority, because it's been a long time coming, and I know there's a lot of work that's been done already, and we're going to be able to use that work to proceed with our mission. I'm really excited and honored to be here today. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Brenda Bergeron. I am the resident representative for East Farms, and I've lived there for 35 years. My profession until February of this year was the Emergency Management and Homeland Security Department and then division of the state of Connecticut. My background is 20 years there, 16 years as the attorney for Emergency Management and Homeland Security in the state, and 4 years as the Deputy Commissioner of the larger agency, the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. I was responsible for the Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security. I have my resume here. I'm going to give it to Kathy in case anyone wants it or has questions from the public or elsewhere. But I did want to talk a little bit about the relationship with Emergency Support Function 4, ESF4. We operated under the National Incident Management System, or NIMS, and we followed the Incident Command System. ESF4 is the emergency support function related to fire, and they had a seat at the Emergency Operations Center. We worked very closely with Jeff Morset and the CFPC at the time. We also have regional emergency planning teams, or REPTs. Each of the REPTs, we have someone from DEMIS, the Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, who works with the local folks on a range of emergency management and homeland security issues. And fire was a huge partner, both during planning, preparedness, training, exercise, but also in the midst of emergencies, which for me, because of the long time that I was there, ranged from anything from Tropical Storm Irene and the Superstorm Sandy, the October nor'easter, COVID, which was a peculiar disaster, but long running, affecting everyone. And the fire service was always there to help with the logistics and operational piece of things, which is not always seen. Emergency management isn't an area where you see, on the front page activity, but fire is there always, both for the actual fires that happen, but also for so much of the logistics and other emergency management pieces. The folks that are the emergency management directors in a town are generally either law enforcement or fire. Fire operates under ICS. When we have an emergency, they would always be there. And so I have a soft spot in my heart, if you will, for the fire service, for all the work that they did with us for all those years. And I also respect them for the emergency medical services, the EMS that they provide. Again, not in the front page necessarily all the time, but absolutely critical to everyone that lives in the town of Farmington. So glad to answer any questions about my background, but this is an area that's very near and dear to me. And I'm honored to be in this position. So thank you for the opportunity. Kathy, do you want to?
Sure. I'm Kathy Blonsky. I'm the town manager here in Farmington. I've been the town manager for 26 years now, and I've been with the town for 32 years. Believe it or not, this is my second fire station building committee. So the first one was 25 or 30 years ago when we built the 2 newer fire stations and upgraded the 3 fire stations. I'm excited to go through this process again. We did a lot of work on the ad hoc committee, which we'll be talking about later on, which I think will be very valuable to this committee. And one thing that I'm excited about is that we just did the high school project. We've done this building. So we kind of have a really good blueprint of how this works. And so we don't have to reinvent some things. We have a process in place that's been pretty successful for us. And I think if we follow the process that we've been doing over the last couple of projects, we'll be in good shape. So I'm happy to work with everyone, and thank you.
I'm Ted Sanford. I'm from Farmington Village. I've lived there the majority of my life. My family's been in the village for, I think I'm the 12th generation, so a long time. I'm a vice president, part owner of Sanford and Hawley Building Materials. I've been there for full-time 45 years, part-time probably 60. So I'm here because of my knowledge of building materials. I'm also an alternate on the Historic District Commission in the village for about 8 years, and I have a good knowledge of what the Historic District will accept and what they won't, and hopefully that will be helpful for the remodeling of the village firehouse.
Okay. I am Tim Para. I live in Unionville. I was involved. I work for Stanley Black & Decker, and quite some time ago, I was asked to support the live fire training facility. One of the positions I had a very long time ago was running our corporate foundation, and we got involved with the town involved in building that, and then was able to sort of just continue and was asked to be a representative here on this committee. So I appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys.
Chief Paul Melanson, Public Safety Director, kind of a newer position here. About 4 years ago, I did it for about 6 months, and now it's been a little bit over a year. So obviously police chief, but also the Director of Fire Services. So the fire chiefs run the volunteer fire departments and run the on-scene and training and responsible for all that. And really more, we do the logistical budgeting and purchase orders and those sorts of things. And so it's been really great teamwork. I came on the tail end of the ad hoc committee, which really did some really great work. So it was good to, I wasn't in the beginning part, but after all the heavy lifting it was done, I came in and it was, got the tail end of things. So yeah, glad to.
I'd like to say a quick thing to the chief. We worked after the Sandy Hook shooting, the legislature passed a law that required each school to have a school security plan. And we were responsible for the plan standards, and Chief Melanson at the time served on the school security committee, and we really worked very hard to put together a plan that was that met the needs of communities as well as the state requirement. And it took a lot of time and it took a lot of care, and those plans are still in place and continue to be improved. But I just wanted to do a shout out to you for the work that we did together, because it was very much appreciated.
Yeah, and really shout out should be to you, because you ran the committee and kept, I represented all the chiefs in the state on this committee, but the superintendents had, and the fire department had, and emergency management had, and so it was a big meeting, and obviously at the time, very emotionally charged because of the Sandy Hook had just occurred, and we had to come up with safety plans. And obviously every community was struggling, and really a shout out is to you to getting that done. And so that's why when I saw your name running this committee, I'm like, this will be perfect. So anyway.
Hopefully not quite as emotional.
No, it won't be as emotionally charged, but.
Thanks, Chief.
Travis Gromack, I'm the chief down at Tungsten Hose in Unionville. I've been in the fire service since July of 2000, so 26 years. We have about 40 volunteers through the Tungsten Hose station and the Southwest station on our side of town. I think this community is going to be good and much needed. We've needed to take care of these firehouses for many years, and I'm looking forward to working on it.
Michael Wilson, Chief of Farmington Fire, Farmington Center. I've been in the department for 23 years. Last 6 as chief. My full-time job, I work for the police department for the past 20 years.
15 as dispatcher and the past 5 as communications supervisor. Very invested in this town and the fire department and the police department, and really looking forward to moving forward with this.
It's great to have your communications experience as an extra as well,
Yeah.
so thank you.
Dave Bukowski, I'm on the town council and co-chair the ad hoc committee with Amy Colombo, who was also on the town council at the time. So a couple of years back, we kind of started restarted the fire station building initiative. And I think we took our opportunity at the ad hoc committee stage to really further what the chiefs had already kind of put in motion a decade or so ago, as far as just a facility plan and the things that needed to be identified. I think I do agree with Paul that we did probably more than an ad hoc committee usually does. We went that extra step, kind of set this committee in motion as far as having, really the goals identified with, what can be achieved with this building committee. My background quickly, I'm an architect. Although Brendan and I haven't been in the same orbit per se as far as the chief and Brendan, but I know Jeff Morissette did some regional fire schools. Kind of know, kind of what what this sector really touches every day as far as what they need is for facilities. And happy to be on it, serving in the committee with such a qualified group.
Thanks, Dave. Chief Slipinski?
Slipinski, yes. My name is Dave Slipinski. I'm the chief of East Farmington Fire. Been there for the chief for 6 years. I've got 36 years of service to the town as a volunteer. I'm a career firefighter for Collins Aerospace, and past that, I was mainly in construction fields for most of my life. And we have approximately 35 volunteers between East Farms and Oakland Gardens.
Once again, Chief, you show that breadth of experience that's really going to come in great for this group. And you have great pancakes.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm Mason Gujay, project superintendent with the town. I've been with the town a little over a year now. I'm currently on helping with the 1928 building committee and closing out the high school building committee. So definitely recent experience with these type of projects. Prior to that, I was with ONG and helped build the Farmington High School and then the central office building. So bringing some construction experience to the table, and looking forward to helping this committee.
Fantastic. And Devin Aldick?
Devin is my assistant, and he is at another meeting right now.
Oh, okay, so.
Yeah, that's, I think we're using his. Zoom.
It's
Oh. I didn't want to leave him out, but that makes sense.
Yeah, and also my assistant Kat is going to be on, she's on vacation this week, and she has basically run both the high school project and this project, so she has a lot of experience with it.
Outstanding. Because this is a public meeting, this is the opportunity for any public comment. There's no one in the room, but if there's someone online, anyone online?
No one currently online.
All right, thank you. We don't have minutes yet, so we can skip the next part. We will after this meeting, but I think we can move right into new business. And this is really our meeting to try to set the structure for the committee going forward. So one of the first things we're going to do is review and adopt rules of procedure, which were attached to our agendas and are available here. And I'm going to turn it over to Kathy to discuss.
So you have the rules of procedure in front of you. We use these for most of our committees. I'll just go through it quickly. That obviously Brenda is the chairperson. She makes official communications. She runs the meeting. Devin, my assistant, is going to be the clerk of the committee. He'll be posting the minutes. He'll be doing the minutes, things of that nature. We have 7 voting members, and you have to have 4 members to have a quorum. So we'll be taking votes, and the voting members are the ones that will be taking the votes, but we do have the staff people who are support. The agenda will be created by the chairperson and myself, and we will, if you have items that you'd like to go on the agenda, you need to speak to the chairperson directly about that. We are looking for people to attend in person if possible, but we do have a Zoom option. We have 2 unexcused absences as defined by the chairperson, could result in the loss of an appointment. And if you can't make a meeting, if you could let the chairperson or my office know 24 hours before, that would be helpful. Just for the residents particularly, we do have freedom of information, and which means that everything is basically a public document. So any type of email correspondence, anything that goes through, they are public documents, and even on your personal computer or anything like that. So always just keep in mind that we are working for the government, and so we do have rules that go along with that. So we have an ethics chapter 24. If you could review that, I think we sent that. Just basically how just our ethics, I think it's self-explanatory. And then Robert's rules is that we follow Robert's rules, but we usually follow a less stringent form of it. And I think that's what we decided we'd like to do.
Yeah, with the group's consensus, we'll operate professionally, but we'll be flexible. Robert's rules can be a nightmare to interpret. And I just sense from this group that we're going to be operating pretty much under consensus anyway. So we will operate professionally, but flexibly.
And what you would do now is that from a voting member, first of all, if there's any questions, we can try to field that, and then we would do a motion to accept to approve the rules of procedure after the question.
So is there a motion to approve the procedures and rules?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, let's do a vote. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? None? All right, the motion passes. Thank you.
Hey, Devin.
Next, we are going to get a presentation from Kathy. This is the presentation that was provided to the town council from the ad hoc committee. Really will give us a great sense of where we are and what our mission is. So Kathy, I'll turn it over to you.
So I'm going to just read through the presentation, what I did for the council, and we'll follow it along. So I do think that it does give a pretty good overview. So we did have a fire station ad hoc committee, and the committee presented the statement of needs, the process undertaken over the last year, and the recommendations being brought forward to the town council consideration regarding the town's fire station. So the ad hoc committee was established in January of 2025. And I think we're on slide 2. Yeah, the committee included town council members, town staff, public safety leadership, and the chiefs of each volunteer departments. The collaborative approach was important to ensure that the operational, financial, and community considerations were all part of the review process. The committee was charged with reviewing prior fire station studies, evaluating the conditions and needs of each station, meeting directly with the fire chiefs, reviewing the town's long-term financial outlook, and ultimately preparing a formal statement of needs and recommendations. Over the course of the process, the committee carefully evaluated both operational needs of the department and the long-term fire service model. The overall goal was straightforward: to ensure that Farmington's fire service facilities remain safe, functional, operationally efficient, and supportive of the town of Farmington's fire department. These facilities are not simply buildings, they are critical infrastructure that support emergency response, firefighter safety, and the town's ability to continue providing high-quality fire protection services. Farmington currently operates a predominantly volunteer fire department system that is complemented by 9 full-time firefighter EMTs and supported by a private ambulance service. The community recognized throughout this process that maintaining the town's volunteer-based system remains significantly more cost-effective than transitioning to a fully career staff department. At the same time, maintaining a strong volunteer system requires facilities that support recruitment, retention, training, and operational readiness. The committee found that a significant investment is needed in the town's fire stations. Since the early 2000s, only basic maintenance has been performed at the stations. As a result, the buildings now face aging infrastructure issues involving HVAC systems, plumbing, electrical systems, roofing, and overall functionality. At the same time, fire service has evolved. Training requirements have increased, operational demands have grown, and volunteer firefighters face greater expectations and time commitments than previous decades. These facilities must evolve alongside those operational realities. Modern fire stations serve many important functions beyond simply housing fire apparatus. They support our firefighters providing safe and functional facilities. They improve operational readiness through efficient layouts and modern equipment storage. They provide space for training and professionalism, and they improve health and safety standards by separating living quarters and turnout gear from apparatus bays. These are ultimately investments in long-term, to keep the long-term Farmington Fire Service and to aid in recruitment and retention efforts. Why Farmington Volunteer Service remains strong today, while Farmington's volunteer service remains strong today, the committee also recognizes the importance of planning for the future. Across the state and nationally, many communities are experiencing declining volunteerism and increasing reliance on career staffing models. The committee felt that it would be short-sighted not to consider the possibility of future staffing changes over the lifespan of these facilities. Additionally, the committee determined that a comprehensive long-term approach rather than a temporary Band-Aid solution was necessary to address the fire station needs for the next 50 years. As a result, the recommendations support facilities that meet today's operational needs while maintaining the flexibility to adapt in the future if needed. The committee undertook extensive review process over the past 16 months. This included touring the existing stations, reviewing facility studies back to 2014, meeting with each fire chief to understand operational needs, and reviewing the town's long-term financial forecast. The committee also toured the new Bristol Fire Station to absorb how modern fire stations are designed and how these designs improve safety, efficiency, and operational effectiveness. Renovation versus new construction. As the committee began its work, the initial focus was on addressing aging mechanical systems of each of the town's fire stations. While these upgrades would have improved the reliability of heating, cooling, and other building systems, the committee quickly recognized that this approach would essentially serve as a temporary or Band-Aid solution. It would not address the broader operational and functional deficiencies that exist within the current facilities. The committee then undertook a more comprehensive evaluation of extensive renovation options for each station. These concepts focused on improving critical operational needs within the existing footprints, including larger and additional apparatus bays to accommodate modern fire equipment, improved living quarters for firefighters, updated training and day room space, and enhanced safety features throughout the facilities. While these renovations would have significantly improved functionality, the estimated cost range from $5.5 million to $12 million per station without factoring in escalation cost. Given the substantial investment required for major renovations, the committee also evaluated the option of demolishing the existing stations and constructing entirely new facilities on the current properties. The estimated cost for new construction was projected to be between $9 million and $10 million per station, without factoring in escalation. Although the cost difference between renovation and new construction was relatively narrow, new construction offers several important advantages. Building new stations allow for more efficient layouts, modern operational design standards, improved workflow and safety considerations, and greater predictability during construction. In contrast, renovation projects also uncover unforeseen structural and infrastructure issues that can increase cost and create project delays. After carefully reviewing all options, the committee concluded that when feasible, constructing new fire stations represents the more practical and cost-effective long-term investment for the town compared to undertaking extensive renovations for the existing facilities. The committee did identify one important exception to that recommendation. The Farmington Fire Station is a historically significant building located within the Farmington Historic District. The ad hoc committee conducted due diligence reviews of available land to construct a new fire station in Farmington Village, as well as different design options for the renovation of the current facility. After their review, the committee felt strongly that this building should be preserved and incorporated into the long-term solution through renovation and addition to address the operational needs of the department. The recommended project scope. As a result of this review process and working with the architect, the committee is recommending the following project scope, which is going to be our project scope. A new East Farms Fire Station on the current site at an estimated cost of $9 million. A renovated and expanded Farmington Fire Station at an estimated cost of $12.1 million. And a new Tungus Hose Fire Station on its current site at an estimated cost of $10 million. The recommended project scope addresses the facility needs identified across all stations. These needs include code compliance and fire protection upgrades, replacement of HVAC, plumbing and electrical systems, roof repairs, improved apparatus space, upgraded bunk rooms and storage areas, enhanced training space, updated kitchen and restroom facilities, parking improvements, energy and efficiency upgrades, and improved separation of PPE, maintenance, and storage areas for living and meeting spaces to support firefighter health and safety standards. The comprehensive approach addresses the town's current facility needs while also providing long-term flexibility. It supports our firefighters, helps maintain our volunteer system, and creates a modern state-of-the-art facility designed to serve the community for the next 50 years. The committee is recommending a total project budget range of approximately $30 to $35 million total for all three facilities. The committee also recommends aggressively pursuing grant funds, opportunities, and other potential funding sources to help reduce the net municipal cost. The committee is requesting that the town council approve the statement of needs, the recommended project scope, and appoint in charge of fire station building committee, which they did. So that, I think, thank you for letting me go through that, but I think it does give a history of what the ad hoc committee did. And as Dave said, and he can speak to it too, is that this committee is a little bit different, that we already really have a very specific charge. We're not going back and saying, what are we doing with the firehouses and things like that. The charge is, and which we'll go over, is that we are building 2 new fire stations and renovating 1, and we have a project budget cost, and that's what we have. The council wants us to stay within.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing. I think instead of like engaging the building committee to basically spend time in the ad hoc committee, just moving more a general document to this stage, I think we took the time and the effort during the time that Kathy identified with the ad hoc committee to really work with the chiefs, look at the physical, facilities, and then kind of really scope out what the building committee would really be engaged to do. And I think all along that way, there's been public comment, at every one of our meetings, as there will be here. And I think we're in a good spot to move forward now on this comprehensive.
I'd really like to commend the ad hoc committee for the work that they did. Seeing the initial report that came in was at 2023, and then, which wasn't even the initial, but the most recent one, and then seeing what the ad hoc committee got out of it. And I really appreciated the fact that you looked at the concerns that were raised by the chiefs were addressed in that original report. And you could see that renovation was just not going to meet the needs of the fire chiefs and the fire department. So, things, having been engaged in this in the last 20 years, things have changed so much. Nobody really worried about the effects of PFAS on people, but they do now. And the fact that the footprints for the buildings, the current buildings are not strong enough to support building up for the most part. So you could see that it was a thoughtful process with the engagement of the chiefs and the community. So.
And I think the other thing we identified was there's a context here in Farmington, I think it's been touched upon. We are certainly in an advantageous position with the volunteer system we have. It's a robust system. There's a lot of communities that system is shrinking, if not just fully going away, and municipalities have to wrestle with that as far as what they're going to do to support, the fire and rescue services that they're going to need. Right now, one thing we know, and that's why we talked about even the financing. I don't think anybody took the financing in this project lightly, or what the final number happened to be. We will pursue grant funding very aggressively. I think there'll be, me personally, I do believe, just reading different things out of the legislature, that they also have identified that the volunteer system is under stress in a state that has 169 towns and communities that are kind of their fiefdoms onto themselves. So I think they want to backstop some of this, as far as they want to support what they can do. And I think what we can do is actually lobby for that support. And I think we'll be successful with the plan, the type plan that we have, the real identified scope, and the fact that we got a robust system in place.
Excellent. Any other comments or questions? All right, thank you, Kathy. Great. The next item on our agenda is to review the fire station building committee expectations and responsibilities. That's item E3 on the attachments that you got. A shout out to Megan, who did set these up basically for the high school. And I think they really helped to provide a framework as we move forward. So the first section is called participation expectations, ensuring effective planning. So active participation, I have no doubt that this group is going to be actively participating. Ensure legal and ethical integrity. Each of us as a committee member is responsible for adherence to legal standards and ethical norms. Again, we have an outstanding group here. I don't see that as an issue. Enhance the committee's public standing. Each of us should be able to clearly articulate the committee's mission, accomplishments, and goals. And we're going to get help with this through the communications subcommittee that's going to develop. So we make it clear that we move forward as a team. Duty of care, a committee member owes the duty to exercise reasonable care when we make decisions. Duty of loyalty, can't use the information obtained as a member for personal gain. Obedience, I don't know if about that word, but basically we need to be faithful to the committee's mission. And you're going to see as we talk about our individual responsibilities, we act as a champion for the project. And we move forward as one voice. We can iron out, we're going to have discussions and differences of opinion, and our chances to do that are here. We'll work it through. And then whatever we come forward with as a consensus, we move forward as one body. Engagement expectations. Listen, analyze, and think clearly and creatively. Most of the time, we're all human. Work well with people individually and in a group. Share the time, don't monopolize the discussion, and allow others to say their perspective. Prepare for and attend meetings, ask questions, look for opportunities to develop skills you might not possess. Possess sensitivity and tolerance to differing views, and act with integrity and a sense of values. Again, clear that the expectations here are expectations that we will all be meeting, but it's good to have it outlined. And it helps the public know that we're taking this very seriously and objectively. The next page, page 2, are the responsibilities of each of the organizations or individuals. So the town council has done some of it already, communicated the charge to the building committee. They will be reviewing and approving what we present to them from this committee. And they will work with us to align our communications. Kathy has already provided the guidance beginning to it regarding the building project procedures. She has a heavy load here as town manager, manage the financials, align the town staff who have already been participating, execute contracts and payments, align communications. You'll see through all of this, the alignment of communications is really a critical part of what we do. And the other one is acting as a champion. Kat, who's not here today, will be doing similar things. She also will be providing guidance on the communication strategy and will be attending meetings on behalf of the town. And again, acting as a champion. The Director of Public Safety, the Chief, will provide guidance to the building committee regarding public safety procedures, guidance regarding alignment with the approved statement of needs and any additional studies, communicate the status back to the town of Farmington Fire Department, which obviously the chiefs will be doing as well, but in a consolidated way, align our communications and act as a champion. Our voting residents, of which I am also one, the 3 of us, will review all relevant documentation, select the professional partners, present the schematic option to the town council for the referendum approval, which is really a key part of what we're doing, is to build the momentum for the referendum. Attend scheduled building committee meetings, participate in at least one subcommittee. That's important. We heard today of the experience that everyone has, and so we'll be asking you to work with us on what subcommittee would be best for you. And then the same for me, except I preside at meetings, I make official communications, and we just continue to work forward. The chiefs will be communicating the status back to the volunteer fire department so that they stay in touch with what we're doing, communicate any of the questions or concerns they have. In this role, I see sort of as our regional coordinators are, that if somebody in a town has an issue, one of the branches, then you would, get it to us and let us work it through. You have all the responsibilities of the voting residents that we have as well. Dave, you communicate the committee status back to the town council. Communicate any questions or concerns expressed by the town council back to us. So as we all know, in any endeavor like this, communication is key. Communication, both being consistent with what we're saying and also making sure we are sharing out with the appropriate parties and the public what we're doing and how we're doing it. Mason, you just have a few minor things to do. You're in charge of working in collaboration with the professional partners to review change orders, invoices, pay applications, et cetera, et cetera. So that's huge. Devin, welcome. You coordinate the meetings, you do all of the things that keep us running as far as meetings and agendas and things like that. And you manage all the documentation. And then planning and zoning will be reviewing and approving the completed drawings and making an 8-24 referral. And then our legislative reps will hopefully be able to provide us support regarding state funding options and align with us as well and act as champions for the project. And I would add that, one of the other areas we can investigate is whether we can get some kind of a federally, what's the correct word, directed spending. That might be an option as well, and we'll work on that. And then finally, the last part, and I can just run through these, or Kathy, you might?
I could run through them quickly. These are the subcommittees that we anticipate having. We'll have a communication subcommittee. And, before I get into that, one of the things that have seemed to work with our other committees is that we have these subcommittees and they kind of do the legwork. So a communication sub, they'll go through if it's a newsletter article, they'll plan it, and then they'll come back to the larger committee with their recommendations. So that this makes this committee a little bit more efficient. And so we have a bunch of different subcommittees that then come back to comes back to this committee with their recommendations. So the communication one is they're going to define a strategic communication plan, the messaging, coordinate communications with the town council and the town of Farmington Fire Department, manage community outreach efforts, and provide community updates as required. The professional partnership is they're going to create the RFP documents, create rating forms, schedule interviews and create interview questions, manage partner relationships, create contract specs as required, and provide community updates as required. So that for that committee, obviously it would be with the town staff and our lawyers and people like that, but we'd go through everything and then come to the committee with our recommendations, and then the committee could alter and make suggestions. The financial subcommittee is going to communicate the debt schedule, review state and federal funding opportunities, work with our state reps, provide community updates as required, review and approve change orders, and review and approve invoices. The value engineering subcommittee, they're going to be reviewing the cost estimates based on the schematic design, identify items and make recommendations to minimize cost, and provide community updates as required. So as we go through the process, we'll be continually getting cost estimates, and then this value engineering committee will be looking at that. And if we're going over budget, what is the scope of the project? Because we are on a budget, so we have to make sure that we stick to that. Interior Design Committee, they would review interior design drawings, make recommendations on design elements, coordinate with the furniture, and make recommendations and provide community updates as required. And the decision-making group, this is during construction. This was something that was very helpful on both of groups, is that they review the change orders and potential scope additions, approve items within their established threshold, make recommendations to the committee, and establish implementation of changes to keep the project. So when the project's in construction, we have like a decision-making group that they can approve certain things up to a certain amount, different change orders, different things, so that when something is going on in the project, you don't have to go back and have a committee meeting. It just moves things along. So we've had a decision-making group. And those would be our committees. I think that we will be starting out with a communication subcommittee, and then eventually we'll have the professional partner will be the next one. But the communication one will probably just be the one that we'll be focusing on in the short term.
Do we vote on this, or do we just?
I would vote on this, yeah.
Acceptance.
Yes.
All right, so can I have a motion to accept the fire station building expectations and responsibilities?
So moved.
I should have been looking. Thanks, Tim. And a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All those, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the motion carries. Thank you. Next, we are going to review and discuss the upcoming meeting topics. So we've been thinking about how we would proceed with this, and Kathy's going to talk a little bit about how we think it would be best to move forward.
Okay, so obviously we're on meeting 1 today, so we're doing our intros and we're also going to be setting our upcoming meeting schedule. Then meeting 2, we thought what we would do is maybe see if we can get the town's dial-a-ride bus and maybe go on the dial-a-ride bus and tour East Farms Fire, Farmington, and Tungus Hose. If potentially, if we can work it out, maybe either go back to Bristol or go to a new firehouse, just so we can have a comparison. We found that very helpful when we did it with the ad hoc committee. So thought we'd do the tour. Then meeting 3, we would have a draft of our RFQ for our architect. This is going to be our first thing that we're going to do, is that we're going to need to hire an architect to start doing our drawings for us. So we'll have to go out for qualifications and pricing for an architect. So what would happen is a draft RFQ will be provided for the committee's review and approval. Committee will receive a copy of the RFQ responses and evaluate each using a rating form. So what will happen is that we'll have the RFP will come in, the committee members will be responsible for rating all the different things, and we'll go through it how it's done, but that would be at meeting 3. Meeting 4, we would review the responses and do a short list. The committee will review the rating forms and executive session and determine a short list of firms that will be invited to participate. We, and here in Farmington, because it's an architectural service, we do not have to go with the low bid, as many other communities have to have a low bid process. But what we've done, and it's worked out well, is that we ask for the qualifications, but we also ask for the price, and they put the price in a separate envelope, and we keep that to the side. And then when we review based on qualifications, we shortlist it, and then we open up the prices. And so we look, because it is important to see what the cost is, obviously, but that's not our driving factor. So for example, if the person that we really like is way, way more expensive than the short list, typically maybe we go with the second person. But if they're close in price, we would go with it. So, but that's a process that's worked out well for us. So that was meeting 4. And then meeting 5, we would interview the shortlist people, we check references and do that. So that's the 5 upcoming meetings. We'll talk about it a little bit, but we thought the meetings we would be doing probably every other week, except that between when we send out the RFQs and the RFQs come back, it's a month. So there won't be any work between that time.
Any questions? Sound good? All right, thank you. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the overall communication vision. Basically, how are we going to share the mission, how we're going to share the message, and then the progress, both in writing and in person. Kathy?
Right, Kat, my assistant, will be leading this, but I think I can give you kind of just a broad scope. Our first part of this committee is to get the project passed. We're going to get drawings, we're going to get prices, and then we're going to go to referendum. So we have to, for the first part of this project, is to communicate the project so we can get it passed in referendum. So as they're designing it, we're going to be going out to the public. I think we're going to have a 2-prong approach. One of them is going to be like take our mission on the road, go to pancake breakfast, go to anything that we could do in the fire stations, being able to show what the new fire stations are going to be looking like, what the cost is going to be, a champion of the project, and we'll be looking to the chiefs to help us out of any type of event that they have. Also, to go to probably the chiefs, your meetings, to make sure that your rank and file all know what the project is so they can get the word out. And then the other part of it is going to be our written communication that we'll probably do a couple of newsletters and things like that that show the project, things of that nature. We've been very successful, even just with a postcard that comes out that just explains things, and just a whole marketing type of campaign. Also, probably a couple of public meetings where we open it up to the public and have them come, maybe do the public meetings at the fire station. So maybe do one in each fire station so people can see what the fire stations look like. We can have what the design would be, the cost, and try to get everyone to really understand the needs that we need to upgrade our fire stations, because we can't upgrade our fire stations unless it passes in referendum. So that's the bottom line. So that would be that.
Any questions or ideas?
What is the target date for the referendum? Is that?
I think what we're aiming for is that the time frame would take either, we could go in the next budget agenda, which would be in late April, May.
Yeah.
Or the next time would be November at the ballot, or we could have a special election. But it's not gonna happen at least until like April at the earliest. And then that would be the committee and the council's determination.
Yeah, and I think that's a great question, because we did talk about that.
Yeah.
We had, Joe Zwicky, the chief fiscal director, talk about, where we are financially with our bonding, payoffs right now. And then, so it looked like 2027 was, that window between April and November. And obviously, the one thing, if you had to look at it from a finance side, is that there's a reevaluation going on everybody's progress. So obviously, that's going to hit for next year. And so having, even with the robust communications subcommittee that I think will be, put together here, that might be a big lift, to like kind of balancing the reevaluation as well as trying to sell this project. So it might have to go to November, but certainly in that time frame of 2027.
All right, any other ideas or comments about the communication?
I didn't mention in my introduction, but when I started at Stanley Black & Decker, I started the communications department there. And I ended up growing that, becoming the leader of public affairs and a whole bunch of other things, managing the merger of Stanley and Black & Decker, so globally managing all of communications and leading that, as well as very, very local. So getting down to where we had plant facilities, managing town meetings with those plants where we maybe had a plant closure or an incident within the facility. And so have a lot of experience on that front. I'd be happy to kind of contribute on the communications committee.
That's outstanding. That would really have us hit the ground running, having you work with the folks that do communications, and I'm hoping the chief may be able to join as well, just to keep that going. So excellent, that's excellent, thank you. All right, do we need to vote? No, okay. All right. So next we're going to talk about setting the meeting schedule. So we just need to hear from the folks on the committee about, does this time frame work for you? Fridays, I know we talked at the ad hoc committee level, it was good for the chiefs. We want to make sure that all the chiefs can participate. So particularly Chief Slapinski, is 9 o'clock on a Friday good for you, or does anybody have a suggestion other than that?
9 o'clock would work. I might have to just do on Zoom depending on days I work.
That makes a lot of sense. Anyone else have any comments on this? All right, well, that's great. Because I know it's hard for everybody with your schedules to find something. So, all right, so we can stick to 9 o'clock. And then Kathy, do you want to?
Yeah, so why don't we do the dates? So we're at the 17th. If we did 2 weeks from now on the 31st, that would be the first date, and we try to aim for a tour. So
I'm away on vacation that week.
okay. Let's see what.
Yeah, so,
I can't do the 7th. How about is people around next week? Because it's just the tour. We don't have to prep for it. Can anyone do it
The 24th.
the 24th?
I can make that work.
Gentlemen, the 24th?
Yeah, actually, that would work great.
Okay, so why don't we try July 24th? Contingent of making sure we can get some kind of van, but if not, we could try. But I think the van, we could meet here and then just all go together.
What amount of time would we want to budget for that?
What do you guys think?
A couple hours, 9 to 11, 9 to 11:30.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I have to throw a wrench in that. I actually do have a work meeting that morning, so I can't do the 24th.
Okay.
I could do,
How about the 7th? I
No, he
can't.
doesn't, he can't do the 7th. He can do the 7th, you can't do the 7th.
Yeah, why don't you do the 7th? I've been to the firehouses, I think Kat will be there. I think it's more important that the.
I also won't be there the 7th.
Okay, we need, so now,
How late is your meeting on July 24th?
I could do, I'm sorry, which date?
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
I can do the afternoon. Or I have 21st in the morning available. I have Monday available.
Would people be able to do the 24th at 1 to 3?
Should be active.
Yes.
Chief Zaplinski?
I'm good. I'm off that day.
So the 24th, 1 to 3?
Yeah, I mean, I might not be able to, I have a meeting that I'll probably join you late, that's all. Just,
Okay.
You know what I mean, but I've seen the fight, you know what I
You
mean,
did
similar,
the ad hoc.
yeah,
right?
similar to Kathy.
Okay, we can-
yeah, we can get,
You do matter. But you did it. Did you have, no, you haven't done it. Yeah, of course.
yeah, so July 24th from 1 to 3. So that's next Friday.
Are we gonna try to tour another firehouse out there, or is that gonna be a separate day?
That may have to be a separate day, yeah. I think that's a separate, we'll just try to do our own firehouses. All right, so that will be good. All right, so that will be July 24th. All right, and then we were doing it everything. Let's see, the 7th.
Did you say you can't do this one?
Yeah, 7th doesn't work. It would be the 14th, and that would be.
I'm away the 14th.
There's my,
I'm away on the 21st.
No.
Once we get out of the summer, I think we'll probably be more able to.
all right, so what do we say?
Right now, we've got July 24th from 1 to 3.
Okay, and you said 14th, Brenda, are you away that week?
No, I'm here the 14th.
Okay, but
Tim.
Tim's away the 14th.
Okay.
Okay,
I am too.
yeah, okay, so that doesn't, how about the 21st,
I'm away.
that whole week?
From the 20th to the 25th.
Can anyone do anything during the week of the August, like the 19th or something?
I could do the morning of August 19th.
Morning of August 19th?
Would that be for the tour to have a
It'd be our next meeting.
actual?
Meetings for you, do like an RFP
Devin, can
review.
you repeat the meeting schedule that you were?
Yeah.
What's from 1 to 3?
The tour.
Oh, on, yeah. next day.
Oh, I got it. All right, so, yeah, so August 19th would be review and approve the RFQ for architectural services. So
All
we
right.
say we have people for that, so that would be August 19th, what time would that be?
9 a.m.
Yeah.
That's meeting number 3.
That's meeting number 3.
That works out good because then we get into, it gives you a month.
Then, so then we'd have to look mid-September then.
Yeah, and that should start to,
How about like, so a month, either the 18th of September, why don't we give ourselves enough time, right, Mason? So the RFQ went out somewhere after August 19th. We need a month, right? So do you think like the 25th of September, would that, you think, work?
Let's see, I think that's your best bet.
Yeah, I would say so.
I can participate virtually on the 25th, but I won't be here in person.
Okay, but you could do it so September 25th,
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
And that's meeting number 4. We'd be reviewing the RFQ responses.
Do we make that 9:30 by any chance? I have a 8 AM. I would either be coming in right at 9,
I can do that, 9:30. Okay.
or you keep it 9 if I'm late, and just understand why, whichever one.
No, I
Maybe
think 9:30, right? Is that okay?
I think 9:30 is good, especially if it's to review the responses.
Yeah. All right. And then this meeting, interview the short list of architecturals. You all tell me, do you think we should have that one in the evening? So we're gonna grab the architectural firms in? Does it matter, do you think? If they come, do they come at
Well, they come anytime,
time? All right,
but I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, they come in,
okay, all right. So,
though, if they want the commission.
so how about October 9th?
That's fine.
Are there any, I don't have holidays on my, I feel like we're getting into some holidays. I don't know.
12th is Columbus Day, but
Oh, okay, good. All right. And that's not,
That's Columbus Day, I may not be here.
it's,
It's
Yeah, but
Columbus
that
Day,
weekend,
okay.
So, yeah,
Probably
Yeah.
what if we did like that Wednesday or something, a little like middle of the week?
Yeah, how about October 7th?
That's good for me.
it's
Yeah.
not like Rosh Hashanah or something, is it? On the Monday,
Yeah.
it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, Wednesday in the morning doesn't usually,
It's
doesn't work.
okay.
It doesn't work for me. I do
Oh,
my
okay.
agenda review meetings and I'm chairperson on that on the morning. How about the 8th?
Thursday?
The 8th, I do lures and volunteers in the morning.
8 is no good for me.
It is not good for me.
What about the 6th in the morning? Is that too soon? No, that's not too soon.
Interview.
The 2
That wouldn't be.
I can move things around if it works for the rest of the group.
It's fine with me. Good with me.
Okay, so then October 6th,
Forget it.
9 a.m.
I think we have that.
And how many do we expect? Does it depend on what we get?
Yeah.
We could get one.
Yeah,
Or we
It's probably
could-
no more than 3 or so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what's the length of the, so in other words, it's probably a couple hours.
yeah, this one would be a long meeting.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Probably you'd take probably like an hour for each one.
All right,
I think you want to give them a time frame, like they have an hour, and then, you know,
Yeah.
they have certain things they should be ready to explain within that hour, which they're gonna be very accustomed to doing.
So do we want to kind of reserve just depending on how many we get, do we want
Yeah.
to say from
9 to 12.
9, yeah, for now or something, just block your calendar?
Yeah. So we have July 24th at
1 to 3.
1 to 3, thank you. Wednesday, August 19th at 9 a.m., September 25th at 9:30 a.m., and October 6th it'll be a longer one, 9 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't if we have got a motion to that, and then we'll establish that and put it on the web and everything.
can we have a motion to set the meeting schedule for the next 4 meetings? Moved by Dave, second?
Second.
Second by Evan? Second by Ted. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. Nice work.
And then just so it'll be the 24th, which, what is that? That's next Friday, we determined, right? If everyone wants to meet here, maybe at 1:45 or something, 1 o'clock, and then we'll work on coordinating with the dial ride.
And I think, so for professional partners subcommittee, if that's what we're gonna, for creating the RFP, will we probably want to formalize that
Oh, yeah, why don't we add that? You're right, Mason. We'll-
just to,
to see, because we're gonna create the architect, so we are gonna we could actually have an agenda item at the next meeting, right?
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, at the next meeting, so when we take our tour, we'll have the tour, and then we'll create the professional partnership, so, and if you wanna talk to the group and see who's interested in participating in that, and that would be like going over the contract, the RFP, that type of work. Thanks, Mason.
Together.
That 24th, when I'm coming in, I may have to just meet you wherever you are.
Okay.
Just to know where you're heading first, just the agenda.
Yep.
Round.
Okay.
I know words to get.
Do we have each other, do we have contact information?
Yes, I can send that to everyone,
Okay,
so,
perfect.
yeah.
If you're interested in serving on the professional partnership group, and you know it now, maybe just let me know before you leave, otherwise I'll reach out to everyone and find out who wants to participate. And is it normally a mix of some staff folk and?
Yeah, we'll put the staff on it and then
Okay.
you just pick the representatives.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. All right. Well, we've done our new business, just asking if there's any other business. Hearing nothing, then I will ask, well, first I'll say that, so just to lay it out, July 24th is our next meeting. It's a tour. To start with a tour, we'll be here about 12:45, and we will be in a bus driving and looking at each of the facilities. And then we'll come back here. And how do we do
I would say we could probably, why don't we get here at 1, we'll take that.
Do that,
Do
yes.
that, and then go on the bus.
All right, so to get here about 12:45, we will do the establishment of the professional partnership group, and then we'll go on our tours. And with that being said, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Second, Mike, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. This was a great first meeting.